Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. So obviously the South African team's just been announced about literally 30-40 minutes ago, about an hour ago. The Argentinian team hasn't been released just as yet, but I really just want to talk about the South African team. So there's only really been one change, and that's obviously Franco Mostert coming in for Peter Steff. Peter Steff will actually move on to the bench to cover obviously lock and flank. And I think there were a few other changes. Ochia Snyman replaces Ori on the bench, and then Peter Steff also comes in. So yeah, it looks like it's a fairly settled side. So number one, we got Tenda Mataurira, 2 Malcolm Marx, 3 Frans Malherbe, 4 Eben Etzebeth, 5 Franco Mostert, 6 is Francois Lowe, 7 is Sia Khaleesi, Warren Whiteley is 8. Faf de Klerk is 9, Andre Pollard is 10, Andre Esthuizen is 12, Afia Duante is 11, Andre Esthuizen is 12, Lukhanyo Arm is 13, Makazola and Pimpy 14, and Willie Leroux at 15. And then on the bench we've got Bongiam Nanambi at 16, Stephen Kitsoff 17, Volkalo at 18, Achia Snyman 19, Peter Steff at 20, 21 is Ambrose Papier, 22 is Lionel Mapu, and 23 is Damon Willemse. So not much difference between the sides that started last week and this week. It's just I think Franco Mostert, Volkalo, Achia Snyman. So those are the major changes that are going to be happening. Talking about a few of the positions, I prefer Franco Mostert to Peter Steff as a caller in the lineouts. Plus, I think he has a direct correlation between Malcolm Marx, so I think it might be a little bit better the calling in the lineouts this week. Last week, I know Malcolm Marx got quite a lot of stick for overthrowing 4 throws, but I've always felt there's a combination of things that caused that. Yes, the throws were high. But your callers eventually got to see that after the second time and say, okay, let's throw it to 2 and let's settle in and take it from there. So yeah, the other position, if you've watched my show before, the other position that I've been quite concerned about in the forwards is tight head. I'm great to see that Frans Malherbe is getting another run out. It'll be his 21st cap on the weekend. So we're starting to build at least a bit of depth at that position, and I think Volkalo is coming in. I think he's only got 7 caps. I think he might start alternating with Thomas du Toit to obviously create that second and third position in depth. Because I know at one we've got Tenda Mataurira and Stephen Kitsoff on the loose head, and we're fairly blessed with quite a lot of really good loose heads. I was watching the Cheetahs on the weekend, and Oxen Chair, I really enjoy the way that he scrums and the way that he's been working and working out this off season. There has been a lot of stick between the 6, 7, and 8 that they might be a little bit light. With Warren Whiteley not being the same kind of player as Dwayne Vermeulen, if we're going to be choosing a player that plays out in the wider channels and is that more support kind of link between the forwards and the backs, then we really need to use them in that kind of position. So I'm hoping that there's a little bit more continuity, or there's a bit more gelling at 6, 7, and 8, because we really need to get those kind of positions correct. But I've got a feeling that they would have settled down a lot more from the first time. Plus, Warren Whiteley's been out for, I don't know when last he played international rugby. It's been a long time, so him back up at that kind of level is going to take a few games to settle in. Then in the back line, obviously Faf de Klerk is there, Ambrose Papier. It's nice that we're obviously now starting to settle in on a scrum half to replace Faf. Let's hope that Ambrose can actually come into his own position on the weekend and not have to come in on wing, because that just seemed strange. Andre Pollard, see, the only player that could come in for him is Damon Willemse, so maybe Andre Pollard will play the whole game, and Damon Willemse, if the game is a little bit more that's a bit more secured a bit early on in the game, then Damon Willemse can come in on 15, and I think it might be a better way for him to be coming in. But yeah, it's nice that we've got a bit of continuity in the back. it'd be nice to see if Lionel Mapu gets a run because I think there's a lot of competition for that 13th spot. So yeah, let's see what happens there. But look, I'm looking at the game. Last week I predicted that the Boks would win by 9. I haven't changed my prediction on Superbru. I think it's going to be a little bit closer, and Los Pumas are going to be coming back quite hard this week. I think they're really up for the victory. I think they've targeted the 2 games at home against the Boks and the Australians as the games that they could possibly win. So I think they're going to be really up for it to take the win at home next week, because Argentina has always been quite a difficult place to go play. It's a long trip, so let's see if the guys are up for it. But yeah, I still think it's going to be a Bok victory on the weekend. I'm hoping that there's same as always. I hope there's no red cards or yellow cards or real iffy kind of decisions that really mar this game. But yeah, I could talk about the Argentinian side, but I don't think they're going to really change that much, because their team seems quite settled, and I think they performed really well on the weekend. It just wasn't their day in the office. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the game on the weekend, and really do. But put down your comments down below of what you think the score is going to be this weekend. I think it's going to be 9 to South Africa. I don't think it's going to be a super high try fest. I think it's going to be a little bit tighter than it was last week. That's just my personal opinion. But put it down below what you guys think the score is going to be. If you like my video, please like it. If you really enjoy it, please share it with your friends. And I hope you guys have a great day. Cheers. Bye.